Hello everybody, my name is Heather and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be filming the Bookish Bookin book tag, which is a tag created by Becca from Becca Awesome Book Nut, whose original video I will link down below along with all of the questions. No one tagged me to do this, I just felt like doing it because that's usually how it goes. So the first question is, what is a well-loved book that you hated? Now, hate is a pretty strong word, but this is a very well-loved book series, the first of which I didn't see what the big fuss was all about, and that is Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. So this is about Juliet who can kill people by touching them, and it was just like so angsty for me, just a little too angsty. I didn't like the writing style. I just didn't like it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. If I had hated it, I wouldn't have finished the series, but I did finish the series and it did get a lot better. So that's why I'm just picking the first book. So this is not representing the entire trilogy. It's just the first book did not thrill me. The second question is, what is your guilty pleasure book? Now, I don't really feel guilty about liking this book series. I don't know, now that I've gotten older, I just, whatever, like I want to read what I want to read, and it doesn't matter what anyone thinks about it. However, if I were to bring this book to work and read it at work, I'm sure someone would look at the cover and be like, what the heck are you reading? And that is the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Okay, so I've already read the first two and I'm already obsessed. I'm obsessed. So I don't feel guilty about that, but I mean, the cover just looks a little ridiculous. This cover of the combination of the first two books is a lot better than the original covers where like they're all intertwined and I don't know. But that's just the only thing I can think of. I'm not guilty about it. I do love it. So it just barely fit into the parameters of the question. Next question is, have you ever spoiled a book for someone? If so, which book? And I can't really say that I have spoiled a book for anyone to my knowledge. I try and be really, really careful when I talk about books on my channel, not to spoil anything. And I think the only time I've ever spoiled a book is if I'm mentioning a book to someone and they're like, well, what happens? I'm never gonna read it. You know, so I go like, are you sure? Are you sure you're never gonna read it? Are you sure? And after like the 110th time I ask that question, then I will tell them what happens. Mostly because I'm just so excited to talk about it. Next question, what book made you ugly cry? Is that right? Yes. And that would be The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. As it stands right now, it is the only book that I can remember that actually made me like frickin' bawl my frickin' eyes out. I did read The Book Thief last year and that made me kind of like choke up a little bit, but actually frickin' ugly cry was The Fault in Our Stars. And Me Before You is still on my TBR for the month and I haven't gotten to it yet, so that might replace The Fault in Our Stars, but we shall see. Question 5, what is your latest DNF? I don't know if this is a problem or not, but I do not finish, if that makes sense. Even if I don't like a book, I will stick with it. I'm so stubborn about it, so I'm like, maybe the ending will redeem what I've read. I don't know. I mean, I could have not finished the Shatter Me trilogy and thought, oh my god, this trilogy sucks based on the first book, but I was like, you know what, no, I'm going to finish the trilogy and see what happens, and I ended up enjoying it. So I didn't know, maybe that's how it is with some books too. So I always try and stick with the book, hoping that it will get better. Next question, which book have you read due to controversy? Last year I was attempting to do the Pop Sugar reading challenge, and one of the books was to read a book that's been banned. And so I was kind of looking at my bookshelf seeing if any of the books I had been banned anywhere, and one of them was A Light in the Attic by Shel Silverstein. And I was really shocked when I read that. I'm like, why would this book be banned? It's just a compilation of poetry written really for children, but it is very relatable still to me as a young adult, new adult, that kind of age. But as I was reading it, I was like, oh, some of these, I don't know, I could see why some like hardcore religious groups might not like it, but yeah. So that's why I picked for this question. Next question, have you read a book where you questioned the author's sanity? Absolutely, yes, I have. That would be You by Carolyn Kepnes. This is a book about a stalker, and you read from the stalker's perspective. Like, weird. And at first it's kind of innocent, but then it gets less innocent, and so you're thinking like, oh, he's not that bad, because, you know, you're relating to him, you know, you're sympathizing with him, and you don't want him to be really bad because you're reading from his perspective, and it just like makes your brain all twisted because you're kind of rooting for him, but you really shouldn't be because he's not a good person. So yeah, definitely questioned Carolyn Kepnes' sanity. What is the most cringe-worthy book you've read? So this is not to say it's a bad book. I did get sent this book for a review, and I gave it like a 2.5 or, you know, 3 out of 5 stars, something like that. But there were moments in Dating an Alien Pop Star by Kendra L. Saunders where I was like, yeah. Some of the more romantic elements seemed really sudden, and it made me kind of uncomfortable to read. Fortunately, that wasn't like the bulk of the book. Most of the book was pretty enjoyable, but those moments were just kind of like, this is happening a little too fast for my comfort. What book have you read solely due to its cover? And that would have to be The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I know this book actually has multiple covers, but this is the one that was on Book Outlet, and I thought, oh my gosh, how gorgeous is this cover? I still think it's gorgeous. It was in my favorite book covers video that I posted not too long ago. I didn't really enjoy the story all that much, honestly. I did contemplate not finishing it, but I finished it. It did not redeem itself in the end, so was that a waste of my time? I don't know. But I cannot dispute the fact that the cover is still gorgeous. The next question is, name a book you're embarrassed to admit that you've read. There's none whatsoever. I'm not embarrassed about any of the books that I read. I am proud of all the books that I've read. Name an unknown book you wish more people know of. And that would have to be Strands of Bronze and Gold by Jane Nickerson. This is a Bluebeard retelling. It was the first book I read in 2016. I got it just on a whim off of Book Outlet. I thought, oh my gosh, I always buy books that I hear of on BookTube. Like, maybe I should just branch out and see what happens. And I ended up really enjoying it. So like I said, it's a Bluebeard retelling, which if you are familiar with the story of Bluebeard, then you can imagine how creepy this book gets. And I remember beginning to read it and think like, oh, this seems like it might be a book for an age group a lot younger than me. And then as I got more into the story, I'm like, oh my God, this is some adult content actually. And it was really surprising, and it made me really uncomfortable, but like in that good way, like it was meant to make you uncomfortable. So I don't hear anything about it on BookTube, and I thought you should know about it. It's pretty good. Question 12, name a favorite villain. For this one, I'm going to go with something, you know, if you've read it, you might be like, is there a villain? And kind of is, like a little bit, but then they don't, I can't say anything. But anyway, I'm going with Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This book is so incredibly twisted. You think someone's a villain, and then you think someone else is a villain, and then you're so confused. You're like, who's the bad guy? Will the bad guy get justice once you figure out who the bad guy is? And it's just like, ugh, like it's so frustrating, and honestly, it's such a hard book to describe like why I chose it for this question without spoiling it for you, but if you've read it, then you hopefully know what I mean. Name a book you enjoyed that you read that is outside the norm of genre you usually read. For that one, I'm choosing one of my favorite books of 2015. I'm pretty sure, no, did I read it this year? I think I did actually read it in January. Never mind. It's probably going to be one of my favorite books of 2016, and that is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I don't typically read science fiction, and I also do not typically read books that are like in weird formats like this, and I really absolutely loved it. Question 14, name tropes you actually enjoy reading. I do enjoy a good love triangle, like a well-written love triangle. I don't know why I like it so much. The final question, what or who inspired you to join BookTube? Now, just kind of a mix of things, actually. I discovered the BookTube community around July, August of last year. This was around the time that I actually started my first YouTube channel, which I will link in the description box if you want to check it out. It's more of like a lifestyle channel, but I was trying to do like lifestyle videos and kind of incorporate like book videos because I wanted to do it all. Like I'm like, oh, I love YouTube, like this is so great, but there are all these interests that I have. So that's when I was like, I want to be a part of the BookTube community, but I also want to be a part of all these other communities. And then in the fall, I was like, you know what, this is just too varied. So that's when I created this channel that you're watching right now, which is solely dedicated to books. And I love it. You guys hold a super special place in my heart. I love all of you, and I love this channel so very much. So, and yeah, just YouTubers like Sasha from A Book Utopia, Reagan from Peruse Project, Kat from Katie-tastic. Like those are a few of the first booktubers I ever started watching, and I just love their energy, and I love how excited they got me about reading. And yeah, so I just wanted a way to read more. You guys help me read so much, by the way. Thank you so much for that. So anyway, that is it for this video. I will tag just a few of you guys. I feel like I always tag the same people, so if you've been tagged by me before, you'll probably be tagged again. But even if you're not tagged, feel free to do it, because I do it anyway. I don't care if it's breaking the rules, but yeah. So that is it for this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I will see you in the next one. Bye!